Hello, Brent and Susan. Okay, just wanted to do a quick walkthrough of your cabinet designs here. Okay, so of course I've got the two islands. We've got your backs of the islands. I've just done basically like 3 panels across. Of course, your sinks here. You'll notice that we've done mostly all drawers. I mean, drawers everywhere, drawers galore. We've got your glass doors going around the tops. These will actually be glass panels too. They're just not drawn like that just yet. And then we've got trash pull out here. Trash pull out also in this unit right here. You should be able to fit 2 trash cans front and back here. So a trash can and a trash can. This width here, I believe, is also wide enough to do 2 trash cans front and back. Go ahead and show the rest of the walls here. Okay. So this wall, I actually have already kind of thought I might revise some. I talked to Neil about it, and I think because we had talked about lining up along here previously, so that there's a horizontal line. But I think the Neil and I both agree that we should probably adjust these doors because the height of these gets so tall. So I think what we'll do is bring up the height of them kind of more along here, and then that way you've got a full door here, and then it's still kind of a smaller door here, and then we'll just do all the glass panels there. Now this area, I think we'll leave it open. I might even bump it out some, kind of, and then we'll do the wine lattice in this section. That way you can have some wine storage up here. And we'll be able to show that in the drawing once we get a little further along into this. Of course, you got your appliance garage here. Right now, I'm figuring this is the type where it goes up and it kind of sits above this when it's open. But like I was talking, technically we could do the type where this goes up and in. Those are my other favorite type that I like to do. The only benefit there is you don't have the door kind of in your face or blocking these doors when it goes up and in, but from the side profile it doesn't line up the same as this. This looks the best aesthetically like this. Let me see here. So right now this door is an overlay door sitting on top of the face frame. If I were to do the type that goes up and in, while it is a little more functional, the problem being that it has to be an inset style. So then it is not lined up from the side profile with this. It's actually inset 3/4 of an inch from the other doors. So just a couple options to consider. One thing I've already talked to Neil about that he's currently working on revising is um, anywhere where we've got this, like for instance, this would be one cabinet with 2 drawer banks instead of having the double style here. So anywhere you see that, we're going to revise those and have longer continuous units without seams. Same thing with these uppers here. So this will be an upper with just a horizontal split. As we get further along into this thing, we'll get all that revised. I'm going to go ahead and move on to your pantry. Again, these will be glass we'll make it one continuous unit just with a horizontal split in the face frame. I'm thinking, to get this unit in place, no matter what, it has to be split up somewhat. So I'm probably going to have this be one continuous box, still have it split down the middle. But I'm thinking I might bump this out and, give it a little bit of definition, a little more character. Have it step out to like 26 inches. Right now these are 24 inches this depth, and then we'll bring this center section out to 26. Let me know if that's okay. It looks like no matter what, you've got enough room in this room. Even if I stepped it out to 26, you'll still have 40 something inches in here. So let me go ahead and show the other wall here. And so all these are adjustable. I will be splitting this some for an upper and lower section. Uh, it won't appear that way once it's all installed, but basically I'll have a fixed horizontal here all the way across here. And then I do need, I'm not sure if I had the information for the composter or not, but I know that that will need to be somewhere here. I'm not sure exactly the dimensions of what that thing really looks like. I guess I'll also need to know if does it need to go to the floor. Um, some more information will be helpful for this. You may have already sent it though, so I'll just go back through my emails too. Here's the laundry room. So this is a paint grade room. The other rooms so far, of course, everything was white oak except for the very top of this vent hood. Let's see here. So this bottom section here will be white oak, and then this top section here, of course, being paint grid to the laundry room. So everything in here is paint grade. I am going to have Neil split these up some. I feel like this door here can be maybe 60 inches going across, which should be about there. And then I may just have this just be one taller rectangle here. So then we'll have like a 3.5 foot and then like a 5.5 foot or something like that in height there. Which I think you may have mentioned this, but I'm making these solid wood panels. If that's incorrect, let me know if those are supposed to be glass as well. Also, let me know if you like this kind of taller top door. Right now, these are almost 8 foot tall, which is too tall for one door. Technically, I could put a horizontal split in the door and then use a stiffener on the back side of the door, but it's still kind of an unwieldy large door. And then, of course, we've got on the inside of this stuff, you've got your laundry hamper pullouts here. This is kind of bigger for your vacuum mop broom. A closet rod going across on the inside. This wall, it's kind of surely has an awkward placement for the dryer vent. Since these units are deeper, this is really a void space. I mean, underneath here, there's not a whole lot we can do with it. So Neil has just done a filler panel here. Obviously, it'll end up needing a cutout at the back of it so you can access for your vent there. And then we'll have to put a support going across here for the countertop to slide on. As for the hanging pullouts, So my assumption here, if I understood correctly, was that these could be like kind of a tall unit for hanging stuff for drying, and this unit can pull out both of these here. Let me know if that's what you're thinking. That's kind of what I've estimated for, was having either purchasing or building two slide out units. And then of course this would just be general storage up here. I've actually got this opening up as a pair of doors here. So let's see here. This is trash bin. You know, one thing I am gonna quickly adjust here is I personally do not like the drawer above the trash can. It's just a OCD cleanliness thing. I don't know. It just seems gross to have a functioning drawer above your trash can. Let me know if you agree with that. But for now, I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Change it to one full height door, so it'll be a taller trash can too. You can do a 50 quart trash can, which is like a 12 and a half gallon, instead of a 35 quart, which was a 8.75 gallon. In the powder bathroom, let's see here. Of course, these are all white oak. We've got sink shifted all the way over here. I think we have it like a 15-inch sink center right now. I considered having Neil move this over. I didn't tell him about this yet, but just to have the sink center a little further off the wall. Uh, Whenever you're at 15, yes, that's comfortable, but it almost feels a little bit better to be like 16, or be somewhere between 16 and 18 to the actual center of the sink. And you have the room in here, all it's going to do is decrease these. And remember, I'm going to have Neil combine these into one single cabinet assembly, so there is no seams going across here. And then same pattern on these uppers. I guess we need to know if these should be glass like everything else. I'm assuming glass right now. So we can revise all these to glass. Here is bedroom 2. Okay. Of course, revise this to glass. Combine assemblies here. I think I could instead, no matter what this thing. Oh, you know what? Okay, sorry. This can be one unit. Neil and I had decided that with a separate toe kick, we separate this toe piece with a little bit of gap above for the crown molding. It will go in the room and stand up. So I will go ahead and build this as one continuous cabinet. That way there is no seam going across here. Same thing here, no seam going across here. Pretty straightforward though. Sink is centered, drawers on each side. Okay, master area. So starting out, this is your his and her vanities. Let's see here. Sure, I've got here. I'm gonna hide this tub skirt real quick, and then I want to show the walls briefly here. So this is pretty close to how the plans show the sink center. The plumbing falls like right over here, the right hand side of it. So we could technically shift this. Right now, this sink is pretty well centered on this run. I could center the sink on this run, or I could have it off center. Off center. Right now, it's off center. The plans show off center. If I did center it, then let's see. You would have here. This could be a drawer. This could be a single trash can, which can be skinnier here. And then this would still be a drawer. I guess it's still a little off center, drawn like that. That's centering on what the plumbing is. Um, so either this drawer and this drawer. If we make them equal, then this kind of makes it off center, or I can make this distance to this distance and this distance to this distance the same, which would make your center completely, or your sink completely center, and just kind of a narrow stack of drawers and then a wider stack of drawers. Let me know if you have some input on this. I'm sure, Susan, I'm sure you have an idea what you would like there. We've left. Let's see. Oh, wrong wall. Hold on, just a second here. We have left 9 inches here. Technically, we could shift this in a little bit. Um, this kind of keeps it clear of the doorway, but we could grow all this maybe 2 or 3 inches, and it'd be okay. If we did that, that would, and then we still had allowed 11 inches on the end for like a tall single trash can. That would help with some of the width of the drawers just slightly. Just a possibility. Let's see here. I'm going to hide this wall. Let's look at this wall here. Wrong wall. Hold on. There we go. You've got your commodes here. Let me drop a commode just a second here. Commode. Let's see. Okay, there we go. That's commodes now. This unit is pretty close to how I would need to build it to get it in place. I think I'll just have this be like kind of a lap style so that it's like a shared style. Like basically when I bring it in, one of these cabinets would have a full rectangular face frame. The other would have a face frame that's missing one style. Let's see here. I'll do it like that. And then whenever we connect them together, then you can apply the hinges to this style, and that allows this door to kind of hide that seam going right here and here. Just kind of a hidden seam look. Other than that, that's a. Oh, we will go ahead and connect these, and we do need to know for sure again over the commodes. Did you want glass, or if this is all wood? You may have mentioned something about this being wood panel, but I'm having a hard time remembering. Neil may have a note for that though. Let's see here. This is your dresser. Right now I'm estimating with no wood top here. I'm assuming you're doing like a piece of granite or something here. I mean, I would. It's a nice place for it. But it's also some place you could save square footage. So if you want me to put a wooden top on this, let me know. Right now I've got this as all white oak drawers. I am going to combine this into one super heavy unit. It's 4 foot tall, 24 deep. It can be one unit. Just while we're transporting, we'll probably remove the drawers to decrease weight. The guys will complain, but we'll get it in. Let's see here. All right. Let's show this stuff. Okay, this is the one area. Neil spent a lot of time in this area here, and I think we still may end up doing something different. But let me show this last wall right here. Show wall and show wall. So right now, this is drawn as all storage cabinet here. And then there's like some open shelving. Do like the creativity Neil got to with the shelving. It is a little bit shallower in depth than this section, but I do seem to remember us mentioning maybe this is just a face applied. So right now it is estimated for this to be actual usable cabinet. It's a little shallower, like shallow shelves, and then this is a sort of like a hidden cabinet, so that the whole cabinet kind of pulls out, pivots. I basically have to pivot the entire unit on it. Um, Cost wise, obviously there was more cost associated with this. I I know that if we were to just do fake panels all here, maybe a fake panel here, a fake panel here, and these just be basically cabinet doors, that would then give us some increased depth on this section. That would be significantly cheaper. If you look at my breakdown of how I've estimated everything, this wall could be cheaper depending on how we do it. Um, but I mean, that said, this is kind of a neat way, and you can see the depth difference here. So this is, I don't know if this is like 6 inches depth difference. I think this may be like a 12-inch unit. Um, so I'll need some input on how to do this. So otherwise, I actually kind of like the way it steps up right here over the sink a little further, when, which is something that Neil did differently than how I would do, but I actually like it. I really like it. So a lot of times I tend to line up straight up from this, and then I would have done this going across here. Well, it just feels better. Honestly, it just feels better to have more room kind of over your sink area. So I like what he's done. I've never thought about having more area above the sink. I've always just matched the width of the sink unit when I'm stepping up. And so I like that. I like that he's done that. Well, obviously, we'll have to, we may even be able to build this. It would be kind of a custom piece. We may be able to actually build this all in one single upper, which would make installation a breeze. It would just be a little bit slightly more complicated to build. Not terrible, but anyways, that said, if we end up changing all this to be just 3/4 thick or like inch and a half thick face applied, like a face frame with fake doors and a couple of real doors, then that would affect this whole section some. Let me know what your input is on those, and then I'll get all this sent over. Thank you guys.